Welcome to the Making Moves with Mao podcast. In every episode, you'll hear stories from individuals just like you that are trying to make an impact. They'll share their unique journey and some helpful tips that got them to where they are now. You'll hear conversations with people from all walks of life who are trying to make some moves. Now, here's your host, Mao.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on another episode of Making Moves with Mao. I am excited here because I have Sara Stone as my next guest. She is an amazing entrepreneur who has an amazing experience in the beauty industry, and I want her to kind of share her story on her new business. So let's get started from like how it, even before it began, like your experience in the beauty industry, right? Because I know you've been in that industry for quite some time.
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. It's an honor to be here. I have been in the beauty industry for 16 years.
It's a long time.
It is a long time. It's aging me a little, right? But you can tell I've been in the beauty industry a little, right? For me, when I was in college, I wanted to find like a job that would be fun, that I could do on the side to make some extra money. For me, I didn't want to have college debt when I got done with school. So
Where'd you go to school again?
I went to UW Oshkosh. That's where I got my Bachelor of Science. And then I went to Concordia University to get my teaching license.
Nice.
So I actually was a certified teacher for 6th through 12th grade Broadfield Social Science.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. I love history. I love learning about the past. I had, I had this like love for just everything that had to do with like, especially like European history and art history. So I really got into all of that.
Nice.
In high school, and then I wanted to teach. And then I found, when I was in college, I found this job at Yonkers, which you guys would know here in Chicago is Carson's. And I just fell in love with the entire industry. So it was just something that naturally was easy for me to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just found that I wanted to learn more and more about it, and then also just give that advice to the customer. So automatically for me, this was like being a beauty advisor or consultant back when I started in 2006. There wasn't a lot of there wasn't YouTube, there wasn't Instagram.
Right.
Like
that was kind of barely in its infancy.
Right. It was like Facebook was just starting to get out there. So when you were looking for advice, you came to the department store.
Right.
And you needed to like get the advice from the best of the best. So it was really like, I was so excited when I got that job because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I passed the interview process for this. So that's how I got started in the industry. And then I, found my way, in and out of just, different positions as I kind of, took the corporate ladder and climbed it.
When did you make the move to Chicago then?
So I made the move to Chicago in 2017.
Okay.
So I started, most of my positions were in Wisconsin, and then I got an executive position in Minnesota, and then I was there for 3 years and moved here.
Gotcha. Okay. So then your position here was the same?
Similar. The company had some restructuring that happened in 2018, and then I became a trainer as well as an account executive, kind of a mixed position, and then it changed just a little bit, just how they had restructured. But
Gotcha.
I did more of the educating piece at the end, which was kind of cool because I knew, how to do that part just by being a teacher.
And that seems like the part that you really enjoyed, right?
Right, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So that's 2018, and then obviously 2019, and then pandemic hits. So when did you officially launch your businss? So I know there was like a little bit of things that happened prior to that too.
So Activate Your Impact launched September 2021. So very excited. I feel like during the pandemic, it was just a time to reflect and to slow down. I think a lot of why I'm here today is because I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And
I love it.
It's very interesting because when I read that book, I could not stop listening to it on Audible. I listened to it twice, and I literally did that in 24 hours. And I kept
it's a great read.
I kept thinking to myself, okay, so in my life, I have done this one thing. I have taken, passion for this industry, and I found a really great company to work for, and I just climbed that ladder, into different positions based on my lifestyle at the time. And then I was thinking, oh my gosh, there's so much more I can do. And I wanted to start exploring that. And so that's when I bought my first building in 2019. to start getting more passive income.
For sure.
And then I think I really started to see the opportunity of being an entrepreneur and how that plays a huge factor. And when you slow down and you get a chance to think about it, it's like, okay, can I do this? Am I able to do this? Could I do all the things that I have passion for? Meaning real estate, I have such a passion for. I got my license over the pandemic. I would have never had time to do that if that did not happen.
Right.
Because my position was so demanding, I never had time to even stop and think about what are the things I could do. I knew in the back of my head from that book that there was more options out there, but I just never had the time to do it. And then I got that license, and then I'm like, okay, well, I can take not only my real estate passion and do that, but I can also start this company and continue my passion that I have in cosmetics.
That's awesome, because I know when you got your license and you joined us, I think that kind of sparked that entrepreneurial kind of mindset of like, hey, you're in control of your own destiny at the end of the day, right? So you can really take charge of what you want to do. So that's awesome. I'm glad that kind of happened the way it did. So 2021, you started your business, Activate Your Impact. How did that go about? Like, what brought that idea to you, and what made that a reality? Like,
absolutely. So it started with my friend and business partner, Becky. She wrote a book called Impact. It's not just about the lipstick. So our company is founded based on that book. So Activate Your Impact is really a play off of impact, because it's not just about the lipstick, the book.
Okay.
And so that book really dives into her kind of personal, life, as well as how she balanced work and it teaches people how to be successful in cosmetics. So people who want to work in cosmetic career, there's a roadmap on how you can be successful. It started with that. And then when we started really diving into just beauty products in general, we noticed that there's just not a lot of regulation in cosmetics when it comes to personal care products. So the FDA does very little safety testing on anything. So when you're using something, you go to a store, you trust that whatever you're buying in that store is good for you.
Yeah.
And the reality is if there's not a lot of testing or regulation, there's really no guarantee that is going to be a safe product. So our whole company is focused on not only making an impact, but an impact of being able to share more information about what is in your products. And so
diving deeper into
So safe cosmetics, which is super important to me, and that whole mission is just one of the things that I found is now kind of my purpose, taking on this company with Activate Your Impact. So we're clean, cruelty-free skincare. We have an organic, natural makeup line called Carlucci Inc. that she, has, amazing complexion products, vegan as well.
Nice.
And so a lot of our skincare is vegan as well. If it's not vegan, it's being transitioned to being vegan. So really conscious about not only what's in our products, but sustainability. Sustainability is more than just the planet. It's actually like how it affects us as humans. Like, if something is toxic or not toxic for us. And so having a sustainable line of cosmetic products that somebody can come shop and know that it's going to be, you come to Activate Your Impact, that you're going to have a product that we have looked into and we can say is safe for you.
That's awesome. And like you mentioned, not a lot of people really either do their research in terms of what's behind their products that they're using on a day-to-day, but it's good that you're bringing that to the forefront, right? So you guys started online?
We started online.
Okay.
And I think with the pandemic, everything was online.
Yeah,
we were doing I feel like everybody was Instagram live like all day long. Even like Facebook live all day long, or on a Zoom, so everything was very digital. So we started with the digital piece. And then we did do, we have been doing, during the fall season, we did do some events, in-person events, which is really, with cosmetics, it is nice to be able to, experience a product by being able to feel it, test it, have a conversation with somebody. But our website is very equipped to, give, recommendations. We have a clinical skincare quiz on our site. So you can take the quiz and then somebody from our team answers it for you. So you know what products are best for you based on, your skin type, your lifestyle, how much screen time you have. Believe it or not, like we need an indoor and an outdoor SPF because indoor lighting is just as damaging as the sun, which is crazy.
Yeah,
and all we
wild.
do is sit in front of light, right?
Right, true.
All day long. And so that is a big piece too. So we did start there, and then expanded into our first brick and mortar April 1st, 2022.
Wow. Okay, so that's quite the jump now. Obviously, online is such a different experience than it is having a physical location, right? How has that transition been for you guys?
It's good. I think having the store gives opportunity for someone to like experience the brand and what it's about in an in-person setting, which I think is really awesome. Because it's a new brand. So
yeah.
Even though I've been in the industry for 16 years, this is something new. So a lot of people don't know about it or what it means or what it's about. I mean, the name Activate Your Impact is there, but what does that really mean? And so having the store, somebody can kind of walk in and see what we're doing and be able to have like a vision of what we are. It's such a pretty store. Becky did all the work on designing it. It looks so like clean and clinical and just all about our brand. And so being able to have that in-person experience has been really great. But what's also nice is that you always have your website, and people are always going to be mobile and digital and need something on the go and want to just place a quick order. And so I think it's important in business to have a mix of different ways the customer can shop because everybody has a different way they like to shop. And so being able to cater to everyone, and that's what our brand's all about. One of our, is inclusivity. It's in our logo. And so being able to service everybody inclusively is important to us as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, because like you said, you have your brick and mortar, which obviously you have set hours there, but if you're still online, that's like a 24/7 store that people can shop literally at any time.
Yeah.
So you guys started here in Chicago, right?
Yes.
Okay. And how has that expansion been for you guys? Where else have you been selling, or any other locations where people can find the products now?
We only have one location here in Naperville at the Painted Tree Boutiques. However, we do have a website. Like we have a lot of people who shop from many states. I've lived in 3 states. So, obviously we get, traffic from Wisconsin, Minnesota. We've had traffic from coast to coast, which is kind of cool. Yeah. So awesome. Little by little, the word gets out. And I think that's a big thing as a small business owner is you're really just trying to get the word out and spread your mission, your purpose, and what you're about, and just, reach more and more people. And that's the great thing about podcasts. That's the great thing about Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok.
Social media is so powerful.
Well, TikTok I need to get better at, but you can reach anybody really with what you're passionate about now in this digital world that we live in.
Yeah, that's so true. And things spread so quickly now too. Things can go viral in a matter of minutes, right? So you never know who's seeing your product or who's out there that could potentially be a client or a consumer of your product in the future. So I think that's very big. And on that topic of social media, what have been some of the tactics that you guys have used to market your products? I mean, obviously, I assume you're catering primarily to females, but I'm assuming you also get male clients as well, right?
We do. We actually have quite a male following.
Nice. Okay.
We have 2 products that we just sell a ton of to our male clientele. One is our eye cream called Have It All Eye Cream and our Activate Resurface Pads. They are, must-haves for men, so really, and we wanted our line to be available for everybody. So it isn't just, for one specific person.
Yeah.
What's great is now we have 19. We just launched a new SPF this summer, but we had 18 original skincare products, now 19. So there's so many options, and it can be customized to whoever and whatever you're looking to do. And that's the big thing with skincare. It's like you want it to be, you don't need to use a million products to get results. You need to use the right products effectively. And that's like part of our mission is just being able to say, okay, you don't need to use 10 things to get rid of lines and wrinkles. You can use literally 3 things if that's your lifestyle and you'll actually do it, right? So I think with social media though, to go back to that, it really is consistency. And there's nothing else I can say that in marketing that you can do better than being consistent. And so
100%.
You can run ads, you can do all of that, but if you're only posting once in a while, you won't get traction. And so I, over the last few months feel like just being consistent and, even if you do a reel and you don't get a lot of traction, you just keep doing them and you keep going after that. And that way you can kind of, continue to be in front of people because you just never know who's going to see it and what day they're going to see it.
That's what it's all about is having that consistency that you're top of mind for somebody. At some point, somebody's going to make that connection where,
right.
Like, hey, I need a product, and this person's been on my feed so consistently that I might check them out. So that's incredible. That's awesome. So you mentioned you have 18 products and with now 19, right? How do you go about choosing what products you guys launch, or like how did you guys come up with the first 18 products that you had when you started?
Well, that's very difficult when you love skincare.
Yeah.
That's why we had 18, because we truly love everything and everything is effective. So when we would try something, we're like, this is like the best. And then we were like, we have to have that. And so I think it's just being able to find the right mix that will work for basically the main types of, aspirations that a customer would have when it comes to their skin, and being able to have enough options to be able to address that. So whether it be helping with lines or acne or brightening of the skin, or just hydration in general, we are able to, curate and the skin types, because everyone has a different type of skin.
Right.
You could be dry, you could be sensitive, you could be oily. And so we needed to have enough of a mix that we could accommodate and make sure that we're able to be there for everybody.
That makes sense. Okay. So you're testing these products before you're even putting them to the market, right? Making sure that everything's up to your standards, I assume,
yes,
right?
100%. And that goes with so now we started as a skincare company, right? And now we're evolving into almost like a retailer. So almost like you would see like when you go to Sephora or Ulta, but our premises is clean. So now you're going to walk in to activate your impact and you'll know that everything is clean. So we're actually expanding into fragrance in the fall.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And more to come there, but we do have, we are looking into some really incredible sustainable fragrances. And I bet a lot of people don't think about that when it comes to your fragrance, but you are spraying that, you're smelling that, you're inhaling that. That's something you would really want to be conscious about what you're using when it comes to that.
That's very true. Yeah, I've never thought about that.
So we do have that coming soon, which is really exciting. So we kind of are going to be able to, check all the boxes almost. But to your point, that's why we've only slowly added things, because we really want it to be matching what what we feel is not only quality and something a consumer would want, but also safe and clean. And so sometimes that isn't as easy as you would think to find.
Right, it has to align correctly. That makes perfect sense. Have you guys thought about getting into like retail spaces, like you mentioned, like Sephora or Target or any of these other big box stores, things like that? Or?
I think initially that was where we thought we wanted to go, but now we want to be that person.
You want to be that? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's really interesting because that was kind of like where we always worked, and that's where all of our experience comes from, are those stores.
Yeah.
And, in our minds, it was like a dream, but in reality, our company really was always meant to say clean beauty, clear impact, not clean skincare, clear impact. So we knew that this is our chance to really take it to where we're not only experts, we're retail experts. That's what we've done for decades.
Right, of course.
But now we can create a retail space that not only, is, something that helps the customer find the right products, but products that, we can put our stamp on and feel good about selling to them.
Sure.
And that's something that at the end, when I started to learn about what was in products, I didn't feel good about what I had sold in the past, certain things that I had looked into. And, this is my chance to kind of, do the right thing when it comes to making recommendations for people.
Yeah. And that's and we mentioned that earlier. That's so true that nobody really does intensive research into what they're consuming or putting on their skin or on their bodies. And you'd be surprised with the things that the FDA just let slide by too, right? There's products out there that I'm sure are extremely toxic or just not good for you to have on you at all, right?
No, and you can go on TikTok, and I'm sure there's so many videos on it, but HBO put out Not So Pretty. It's a documentary about the personal care industry, and it was very eye-opening for me. I saw that a few months ago, and I was just like, I threw away like every piece of makeup that I thought I was pretty clean, overall, but anything that I did not like, I looked at the back of all the ingredients and I just threw it away, and now I have like no makeup. So, but I'm okay with it because the makeup I have, I know is good and safe and okay. So
That's good. Awesome. Well, okay. So starting in 2021, obviously the business itself is only a year and a half, a year-ish?
It'll be a year September 16th.
September? Okay. So not even a year old. And you guys have already made such a tremendous, impact in the industry and within the business itself. Where do you see the business going in the next 3-5 years from now?
Well, I really hope that we can expand to a lot of different lines so that we can have more options for the consumer. So right now we have 2. And so, even though that seems like, okay, there's 2, well, they're 2 really good lines. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to, really be able to have a lot of options and find not only, the bottom line is it's got to be effective. It's got to work well. If you put on a mascara and it's clean and it's flaking, nobody wants that. And they're just, so I have to really be able to test and make sure that that's right. So I want to be able to have more and more options. And we definitely want to expand our locations. Mm-hmm. And I really do feel like with beauty, the in-person piece is always going to be there. That personal touch, that one-on-one conversation, that experience. Online's always going to be where we started and we'll always have presence. But you're never going to take away that one-on-one connection. Yeah. That is really how I got here today, was building connections with my customers one by one, 16 years ago. And their confidence in me got me here today. Otherwise, if I wasn't good or I wasn't giving good advice, I probably wouldn't have continued to do it.
Yeah, that's very true. No, that's very true. And all that speaks to kind of where you're at now, which is awesome. So I want to kind of go back into the business aspect of things, right? As a business owner, obviously, with successes, there's always failures that come with it, right? Or with failures, there's always successes if you keep pushing through. So in the short period that you guys have had the business, has there been anything you guys have maybe fallen short on or needed to overcome or maybe look at from a different lens to kind of take you to that next level?
Yeah, I think we came in with corporate mindsets. So because we had lived in corporate for 16 years, Becky was in corporate longer than me. I was in a corporate space. I was not in a small business space. So I was thinking way too big, way too fast, which is good to have big aspirations and big goals.
Yeah.
However, you have to be realistic with your goals and how you get this out. Somebody said to me in one of my networking group that I go to, she said, you have the talent, but your brand is just such a baby. It's so new. Mm-hmm. She's like, you have to work on spreading the word of your brand. Your talent's there. Your talent's always going to keep it going, but you are not, representing a brand that is $1 billion, company. With all that power and 75 years of being around. Exactly. You're really changing diaper stage, And I thought that was so eye-opening because I'm like, you're right. What would somebody new or something new have to do to get out there? And so I think that was just a big, eye-opening piece for us because we wanted to have all these ambassadors right away, and because we're used to managing big teams, and the reality is we have to really learn how to do some of the the heavy lifting or the sales piece on our own before you can even get to that level of having a huge team of people. And so we have really amazing ambassadors right now, and it's amazing to have them, and it'll continue to grow in time, but it's great to kind of take a step back and kind of scale back and kind of lay the groundwork first before you kind of shoot up to those high.
No, that's very true, and you have to take it, one step at a time, and being consistently, taking one step at a time, moving forward every way you can, and eventually, things before you know it, like you'll be at a level that you're looking back and you're like, wow, I can't believe we got this far this quickly or in this period of time, which is incredible. So one final thing here for somebody that wants to get into maybe the skincare industry itself, or somebody that wants to start their own business, just any entrepreneur who's just starting, what would be like your best piece of advice or the best piece of advice that you've received as a new entrepreneur starting in your own business? Like what is something that has helped you kind of change your mentality and change the way you look at things and help your business grow?
Yeah, I feel like you have to have purpose. So I think if any entrepreneur out there, the one thing I can say is you have to have a purpose. And if you have that purpose, then the hard days will be okay and the good days will be even better because you're living something that actually really fills your cup every day. Yeah. And so I think that to me is really what keeps me going, because I would be lying if I said this was easy. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, and I've done a lot of hard things, and I feel like you always have to be able to tell yourself, okay, keep going, or okay, how can I pivot or learn from that? Or, it's okay to get a no. Not everybody's going to be like, yes, 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 And so taking like the criticism or being able to, do things that are hard. Like for me, I'm not that strong on TikTok when it comes to like beauty TikTok. I'm better with like my real estate TikTok's better, for me. And so being able to like kind of push through and say, okay, well, each week I'm going to start with one. Okay, we'll start with one. Okay, and then maybe we'll evolve to two. And actually I had just learned from somebody at one of the networking meetings I went to who's a blogger, and she was going on and on and on about how blogging is really a great way to get your business out there on Google, right?
Yeah.
Instead of, because on our site you
with
can
SEO.
Yes, with SEO and everything. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I said I'll do 2 blogs a month, and okay, I did it. And it's things that you just never would do, but your purpose fuels it, and you're able to do it even though you're like never thought in your life you would be able to write a blog. I've never thought of myself as a writer. I don't even know if they're that good, but I know when I wrote them with my heart, and I wrote them with purpose. And so anything you do as an entrepreneur, if you have that first, all the rest of it will come as long as you believe in yourself.
That's so true. And you touched on it a little bit, but getting out of your comfort zone, right? Like doing things that you're not accustomed to doing or you would normally not do, but knowing that there's a bigger purpose behind that gives you that drive to actually do those things, put yourself out there, and there's a lot of reward that comes from that space, which is awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Well, this was an awesome interview. Where can people find you? Where can people find the brand? Where can people shop for it?
Yeah. So we're on Instagram, Facebook, Activate Your Impact. Our website is activateyouриmpact.com. On our website, there's many ways to get in hold of us. We have chat hours throughout Monday through Sunday. Every day we're available on live chat. We also have our skincare quiz where you can subscribe to the site, and we have you get notified when we have blogs or specials and all of that as well. And then you can find us at Paint a Tree Boutiques in Naperville. We're space N1 inside of there.
What's the address there in Naperville? Do you know?
Ooh, I know where to go.
Okay. We'll Google it. We'll find it.
We'll have to Google it and find it.
Awesome.
It's on Route 59.
Route 59. Okay, there we go.
By the Chili's.
There it is.
There's your landmark, address.
If you pass the Chili's, you've gone too far. Awesome. Well, Sara, thank you so much for taking the time today to inform us a little bit about the beauty industry and your business here. I see nothing but great success for you moving forward. So thank you again for taking the time today. And thank you guys so much for listening. Till next time.